Marketing that was once old could be new again. Hi, I'm DJ from Rainbow Dragon Digital, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the cycle of marketing channels and how if you're a dinosaur, that might not be too bad for marketing. If you want to be the first to hear when I release new videos, please subscribe to my channel and press the little bell. So, marketing. Marketing is all about the novel, right? It's all about getting yourself in front of people and getting them to notice you. Our brains are wired to notice when things are different, when things are new, when things are not as our brains expected. And our brains are also wired to completely ignore things when we expect them to be there. Our brains don't have the capacity to absorb every single bit of information that's thrown at them. So our brains immediately start to think, okay, that I don't need to store, that I don't need to store. Oh, this is different. Pay attention. Make sure it's something that I need or don't need. And that's the essence of marketing, isn't it? It's trying to make sure that your target person is able to see your USP. That is the core of marketing. So essentially, the bottom line is marketing needs to be novel, right? In order to be seen, your marketing needs to be novel. Now, a lot of people think that to make marketing novel, you need to be new, you need to be exciting, you need to be something different. And these are true. And one of the strongest ways to be novel is to have your finger on the button or whatever that phrase is. You know, just be on pulse. That's the phrase. So have your finger on the pulse. You know all the new technology. Get in there onto channels that are not being used yet. And see if you can quickly be the first to be there and dominate that space first, right? This is a way to market really effectively, especially in this digital age. Some of us might find that a little bit exhausting. It can be exhausting to be constantly trying to pay attention to new technology and then learning how to use it on the off chance that people will use it and start, seeing your message. Because there's always a good chance that they won't, or the technology won't take off and you've spent all this time learning it. So it makes sense to be a little bit apprehensive about trying all the latest new technology. However, there is another option to be novel, because the way that marketing works, or the way that marketing channels work, is that, something picks up, people start responding to it, then other people see that other businesses are using that marketing channel effectively, and then everyone starts using it. Everyone starts using it, and then people start ignoring it because our brains think, I've seen that before, I'm just going to start ignoring it. A really good example of this is what they call banner blindness, where, all over the web, you've got those display banners. You can advertise through Google Ads to get those display banners on websites that are to do with particular interests. This can still be effective, but there is a massive thing that has occurred in the last few years where people just literally don't even see them anymore. When they're reading a website, their brain automatically filters out those banners because they know that they're ads. This happens on Facebook too. People scroll through, they see an ad, and they just completely ignore it and move on. Obviously not everybody, but it happens. And that's why Facebook has to keep changing up the way they show their ads, because they need to keep people's attention. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that you can the people stop using those channels once the the banner blindness sets in. Once the masses have started, and the masses of businesses have started using our marketing channel, it stops working. People stop responding. So then the businesses stop using them, right? And this is where the cycle comes in, because if you go all the way back to a marketing channel that's no longer in use, but could still reach people, you could find a novel way to reach people, because people aren't using it anymore. Businesses aren't using it anymore. A good example of this might be direct mail, right? It used to be that you'd get enormous books in the mail of catalogs and things that you could buy. I mean, we still do get marketing in the mail. I'm not saying it doesn't happen anymore, but we get a whole lot less of it. Which means the competition in that space is a whole lot smaller than the competition in the email space, as an example. But there may be other ways maybe other older marketing channels that you might be able to use and get some really, really good results from, because they're not in use anymore. So the bottom line is, if you're a dinosaur, if you feel like you aren't keeping up with the marketing trends, don't panic and actually sit down and think, what were the marketing things that really worked way back at the start of your career, or even when you were a kid? What were the marketing things that kind of seemed to work back then and aren't being used anymore? And you may find that you can create a whole new marketing channel for your business out of a very old one.